guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my recipe for Solara. Now Solara is a great Guyanese dessert. It consists of some soft bread that's filled with a sweet coconut filling. The bread is basically rolled out and that coconut filling is spread on the inside and then it's rolled up into a log. And when you slice it up, you get these beautiful layers on the inside. So I cannot wait to show you guys this recipe today. I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit of a process to get it done, but the ingredients are so simple and all of this effort will be worth it in the end. Once you see that end product at the end of this video, you guys are going to want to give this recipe a try. And remember, you want that coconut to be nice and juicy in the middle, and I'm going to give you guys just that. So I want to thank Guyanese Imports for giving me all of the nice flavorings to go ahead and put together the filling for my Solara today. So thank you guys for that. I cannot wait to dig in and start using them in my recipe. For my filling for the Solara, I'm going to need some freshly grated coconut, and I already have a video on my channel where I show you guys how to open the coconuts and grate them yourselves. I also have some brown demerara sugar, I have some mixed essence, and for my spices I have some nutmeg and I have some ground ginger. Now for the nutmeg, I always prefer to use freshly ground nutmeg, and for the ginger, you could swap this out for freshly grated ginger as well. Now that we've gone over all of the fillings for the Solara, I wanted to mention that before you begin preparing the filling, you want to make the bread dough, or the dough that's going to encase that coconut filling. So what you're going to want to do is check out my video that I did for tennis rolls, and I did that a little while ago. I'll have it linked right up here and I'll have it in the description box. Go ahead and make that first and then we can make the filling for the Solara. Once you finish preparing your dough for the Solara and you leave it to rise, it's time to prepare the filling. So into a heavy bottom pot, you're going to go in with all of your freshly grated coconut and you're going to allow it to roast or parch in the pot until it is a little bit golden brown and it cooks down just a little bit. This will take about 8 to 10 minutes. Now my heat is on a medium heat. You want to make sure to keep stirring so this way this coconut doesn't stick and burn. Now this step is crucial in any coconut dish. So many people forget about it, but I promise it's going to make a difference in the end product. My coconut has been parching for about 8 minutes at this point, and as you guys can see, it has some beautiful golden brown bits running through it. And what I'm doing now is I'm going in with my ground ginger as well as that freshly grated nutmeg. Now, as I said before, you can go ahead and use fresh ginger instead of the ground ginger if you guys wanted to. Once you go in with all of your dry spices, it is time to add in your sugar, and you're going to add in a splash of that mixed essence. Now, if you don't have mixed essence, feel free to use vanilla or almond essence as well. And after you add in the sugar and the mixed essence, you're going to go in with some red food coloring. Now, I always prefer to use the powdered food coloring in my recipes, but feel free to use the liquid version if that's all you have. Once you've gone ahead and added in all of your flavoring agents, you want to give it a big stir and get all of those ingredients incorporated properly. You want to make sure that every little piece of coconut is coated in the red food coloring, has some sugar on it, as well as some of the spices. Now my heat at this point is on a medium-low heat, depending on how high your stove would be. The reason being is because you do not want to burn this mixture. You added a lot of sugar and the coconut is prone to burning as well, so be careful during this step. What I'm going to do now is allow this to cook for about 5 to 6 more minutes until the sugar starts to melt just a little bit, and I'll show you guys exactly what that looks like. This is what my coconut mixture looks like after about another 5 minutes of cooking on a medium-low heat. As you guys can see, it's glistening. That just means that all of that sugar has melted down a bit. So I'm going to cut it off, I'm going to allow it to cool down a bit, and then we can start filling. Now, I will have all of my ingredients in the description box down below, but I wanted to mention that this filling is totally dependent on taste, so go ahead and make it your own. So I've gone ahead and I've set my filling aside, and it's going to cool while I work on my dough. My dough has been rising for about an hour to an hour and a half, just until it doubled in size. As I said before, if you want the proper ingredients and measurements for this dough, head on over to my tennis roll video and you guys will be able to put this together. Once your dough has risen, you're going to split it up into different portions, just depending on how big you want to make your Solara rolls. So I've gone ahead, I've taken a ball of it, and I've floured it, and I've gone ahead and started to roll it. What you want to do at this point is roll it as best as you can into the shape of a rectangle. So that's why you see me rolling up and down and side to side. So as you guys can see, I've rolled out my dough and I've gotten it to about 1/3 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch thickness. Now the thickness of the actual dough totally depends on your preference, because I know some people like more bread to the filling ratio and some people like a lot more filling to the bread ratio. So it totally depends on your preferences. Once you roll it out to your desired thickness, you're going to go on with an even coating of that filling. You want to make sure the filling is slightly cooled, because if you put in a very hot filling, it's actually going to make it very hard to work with and it might fall apart. So once you get that filling all spread out, I'm going to show you guys how to roll it up. Once you get that coconut filling spread evenly throughout your rectangle of dough, what you're going to do is begin to fold over the pieces of dough onto itself. So you can either do this the vertical way or the horizontal way. I'm going to roll it horizontally because I'm going to get more layers that way, but if you wanted to, you could roll it the long way as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just rolling it up onto itself. You want to be very careful so this way none of that filling falls out. And once you go ahead and get it folded over onto itself, you're just going to want to go ahead and seal the edges so this way none of that coconut runs out. As I was saying before, you're going to want to take your fingers and pinch the edges of the dough together so this way none of that filling or the juices that come out of the filling will fall out during the cooking process. The reason I say this is because the actual coconut filling has a lot of sugar, and that sugar is going to melt in the oven when it gets really hot. That's what gives the red bread that juiciness. So what you're going to want to do is pinch the edges so nothing leaks out. Once you finish preparing your Solara rolls, then you can start baking them. So I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I've put them on a baking sheet that I've lined with some parchment paper. That part is optional, but the parchment paper allows for easy cleanup. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes or just until they're golden brown and cooked through. Alright guys, my Solara looks amazing. They took exactly 15 minutes to cook in my oven at 350 degrees. Once you see that they have that beautiful golden brown color on the top, that's your indication that it's done on the inside. So what I'm doing now is I am brushing the top with some melted butter. Whenever you have freshly baked bread or freshly baked goods coming out of the oven, you always want to give them a nice little brush of butter to keep them moist and soft. So I'm going to continue brushing them with butter, and I'm going to come back and show you what they look like so we can start slicing into them. I just wanted to give you all a little reminder. Whenever you make anything with fresh bread such as tennis rolls or flatbread or even Solara like this, you want to make sure to allow it to cool just a little bit when it comes out of the oven, because if you cut into it straight away, it may start to collapse. So as you guys can see, I let it cool just a bit, but I cut into it and that filling looks amazing inside, guys. As you guys can see, it's glistening, and that just means all that sugar has melted and it's nice and moist and juicy on the inside.
Really good. The coconut, moist, juicy, delicious.
Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this quick and simple Solara recipe. I promise after you make this recipe, you are never going to want to go back to the West Indian bakery to buy Solara again. As you guys can tell, my family and I do not like dry Solara with flaky coconut on the inside. We really like that coconut mixture to be moist and juicy on the inside. It adds such a great taste. So I promise you're going to get that with this dish exactly. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and make sure to keep leaving your comments down below. I'll see you guys again with another one of my awesome recipes. Bye guys.